So, as the news recently broke out on the Formula Racers Discord server and Twitter, Guanyu Zhou has unofficially been announced as an Alfa Romeo Formula 1 driver. Okay, this is going to spark a lot of controversy, as people don't regard him as the highest of talent, but listen to me, stop putting your shit on him, right? He isn't a shit driver. He's better than Latifi, he's better than Mazepin, probably better than Stroll, better than De Vries, better than Albon. Okay, now we've gotten to the main point of the video. De Vries and Albon, he's better than that. That's going to cause some controversy, isn't it? Well, I'm going to use this podcast to say my personal opinion, which will probably get me either 1, cancelled, 2, reported, 3, both, 4, another option that I have not yet discovered because I'm a small YouTuber. Okay, now let's head into the reasoning. I actually did put a little bit of research over it. Now, over the 3 seasons of Formula 2, they've both competed in 3 seasons, and let's go. 2017 for Nyck de Vries, he scored 8th place. The parallel is 2019 for Guanyu Zhou, he scored, that was 7th place. In 2018 for De Vries, he scored 4th, while the parallel 2020 for Guanyu Zhou, he scored 6th place. Zhou is currently 2nd in the championship in the 2021 Formula 2 championship, and De Vries won the 2019 championship. Now, why do people say Zhou is worse than De Vries? Well, it's because there's a major difference. 2nd place is behind 1st place, but hold on, it's more complicated than that. Since Latifi and Zhou are the same result, would you say they're the same talent? Some of the people would probably say so, but I wouldn't say so. The 2019 Formula 2 grid, I don't want to be too harsh on some of these people, but it's not necessarily the strongest field out there. De Vries easily won because he was the highest of the non-Alex Albon, Lando Norris and George Russell out there. He was 4th place in the championship. But consistency is key in Formula 1, and especially if you're driving for a team that's trying to come from the back of the grid, consistency is key. De Vries, yes, has no DNF so far, while Guanyu Zhou has DNF in his front-running season, though his results over the championship. Guanyu Zhou's only had 1 position change, which is 7th to 6th. It's not good, but certainly better than De Vries' change of 8th to 4th. Sure, 4th is better than 6th, and yeah, 7th is better than 8th, but either way, what I'm saying is consistency is key. Like I said at the beginning of the sentence, and Guanyu Zhou seems to do better at that. In 2019, what I mean by a weaker grid, look at Latifi, Luca Ghiotto, Sergio Sette Camara and Jack Aitken. I'm sorry if you're fans of these guys and you think they're fast, but the truth is they are fast. Listen, they are fast. They're just not as strong as the 2018 Formula 2 grid, or the top 3 that eventually made it to Formula 1. And I see that 2021 is a similar situation to 2018. So let's see that Oscar Piastri is the parallel of George Russell. I'm not sure who Guanyu Zhou's the parallel is, probably De Vries or something. We need to find a Lando Norris and Alex Albon. Either way, it's a similar situation. 2018 and 2021 are fierce rookies, some experienced drivers, all in the bid for the title, and there's only 6 races to go. 2 rounds, 6 races. It doesn't make sense, but that's how Formula 2 system works in 2021, and people don't exactly like it. Continuing onwards, that technically means, debatably, this is debatably, okay, this is not fact. It could be fact, it's using fact to back up my opinion, but it's an opinion. Debatably, Alex Albon is worse in skill than Guanyu Zhou, but that's saying a lot because he's competed in only 2 seasons of Formula 2 in order to get this result, while Guanyu Zhou had to compete in 3. I'd say Alex Albon is on a similar level to Nyck de Vries, and that's pretty much all I have to say for De Vries and Albon. What about his title rival, Oscar Piastri? It's his first year in Formula 2. It's a pretty good one. I mean, it's an exceptional one. He is the top of the top in the 2021 Formula 2 right now. He's leading the title and by a somewhat large margin to Guanyu Zhou. People say he would be a better option, but would he? He is talented, but he doesn't have the money. That's the main problem for Oscar Piastri. But what's also another problem is the Tsunoda situation. It's a thing I kind of drafted up myself that's probably kind of false, but the Tsunoda situation is bringing in a driver too early and they ended up costing you more. Like Tsunoda, who's crashed a lot right after being promoted to Formula 1 after only 1 year of being in Formula 2. I'm pretty sure Alfa Romeo fear this again. And would it be worth it? And people were considering bringing Zhou instead of Fernando Alonso to Alpine for 2021. But is Zhou better than Alonso? No. But is Zhou... This is confusing because Zhou, some people say, Formula racers say, or some people in Formula Racers chat say that he's similar to Sergio Perez. He's a pay driver. He initially struggled in his first few seasons. His results aren't much to show, but good in GP2 and good in some other series. And eventually he come to succeed and people recognize him as a talented driver. It's a possible situation, but I'm not sure it's likely due to Zhou's background overall being slower to adjust in general. And with Zhou's contract still being unknown, whether it's 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or possibly longer, which I doubt, I'm not really sure what the future holds for Zhou. Either way, he's not as great as the choices that could be Hülkenberg or Magnussen, but he is the best choice, better than Latifi, Mazepin, Stroll, and definitely not Mick Schumacher, but possibly Yuki Tsunoda as well, if he crashes less. That's down to awareness, that's not down to sheer pace. The Alfa Romeo is not really similar to an AlphaTauri when it comes to performance. AlphaTauri is not miles up, but still higher. So, it's really trivial here. Now, I don't know how to continue this on further. I haven't developed a script for this podcast. If you haven't noticed already, there's a lot of stuttering, there's a lot of ums, there's a lot of pauses and breaths taken. Like that one, and I'm not really sure how to continue this onward, but either way, Guanyu Zhou, pretty much out of all the free agents, he's one of the better options. What about for Giovinazzi? You've probably watched long enough into the podcast to ask about Giovinazzi, and you're right. He has been taken advantage of by the team, and he is a great driver. Unfortunately, his time is up, and it's really unfortunate. I'd really like to see Gio in another year of Formula 1, because some people like him, some people don't, but either way, second place in GP2 in a strong field that includes Pierre Gasly and Sergei Sirotkin. Not really the strongest like 2019, but I don't know how to go on further, man. It's slightly draining for me. Well, you've reached the end of the podcast. I know this is kind of dramatic and sudden, probably not a good ending, but the next actual video is going to be coming out soon for proper Red Beta fans. And if you're not a Red Beta fan and somehow stumbled onto this podcast, you've made it far enough. Congratulations. Now do the generic YouTube, subscribe, like, but please, if you like this, just subscribe. It only costs a click of a button, and you don't even need to check my channel out if you want to. Just click the button, you can leave, you don't need to come back, but it really will help me a lot, and thank you. Thank you for listening to this podcast, and I'll see you next time. Peace.